is my personal favorite MCU movie,
Which one was it?
Captain America: Civil War.
Ah, yes.
Sometimes I just forget that this is considered a Captain America movie.
Considering that it
Like I said,
focuses.
Captain America does not have a bad movie, but I'd say the first Captain America is its weakest. That's not an insult.
That's not
Oh
saying
no,
a whole
absolutely
lot.
not. That's like what's weaker between being hit by a car, bus, and train.
And getting isekai'd by all of
Alright,
them
I
regardless.
have a lot to say because this is my personal favorite, so I'll let you guys go first.
Good gravy. It is weird to call this a Captain America movie per se, because it still focuses on the Avengers as a whole. We get to focus on two main factions of the Avengers, that being Team Captain America and Team Iron Man. And we get to see both sides of what's going on, and we get to see both of these characters' point of view and how they clash.
Boy, the marketing for this movie was great because of the whole Team Captain America, Team Iron Man thing.
Oh, fuck
You
yeah.
had fans
Yeah.
divided. That was great marketing because it made people want to see why they would support one side.
Created a lot of memes from this point on, too.
But we all know Team 4.
Oh, yes.
Did anyone saw those sort goofy things?
Yes, I did. It was
What?
what was happening while Thor and while Civil War was happening, where Thor and Hulk were mysteriously not there.
Yeah, where Thor was with his roommate Daryl.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. This is like the Fire Emblem Fates game. It was just like,
So Thor's golden deal.
yeah,
Mm.
Thor is the true ending.
And this movie is important for introducing two very important characters.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Spider-Man,
And
Indeed.
portrayed by Tom Holland.
Panther.
Yes.
And Black Panther, one of my personal favorites, played by... I don't want to say his name wrong.
Chadwick Boseman.
Thank you. Oh, such a tragedy.
Yeah.
No
thank God,
kidding.
rest his soul.
May he
But-
rest in peace.
Chadwick Boseman played Black Panther perfectly in this first introduction.
Mm-hmm. We got some.
Like, Sad was with me in the theater. I was all in on this the second he appeared. as
More
Black
so
Panther.
than anybody else, for sure. It's like, I don't think a lot of people even knew about the Black Panther, but Jag was like, Black Panther is amazing! This is so cool! Like, I'm really looking forward to this because he's so underrated.
And
Yeah.
was I wrong?
You weren't wrong. He was a great character, and yeah, I would say was Black Panther one of the lower? I thought lots of people knew about Black Panther beforehand because everyone
I think
seemed to be
people knew
excited
of him,
for.
but people didn't know of him. Like,
Yeah,
they knew he was that guy with that country, but I don't think they really got to relate
He was
with him.
lesser known, that's for sure. And I mean, this was
Yeah.
kind of mentioned, like, when Wakanda was mentioned within Age of Ultron, seeing Jag's face light up at that point, and it's like, oh, I know what's coming! I know what's coming! Bring it on!
And then not much happened with it, but
Yeah,
I
but
knew the things opened
eventually,
Mhm.
yeah, he did indeed exist.
up.
Definitely.
And see, Black Panther's introduction. I don't know who had a better introduction in this movie, Black Panther or Spider-Man, because both have very great character introductions.
Oh, fuck. I
would say Black
loved-
Panther.
I don't know. I would say Spider-Man, actually.
I love Spider-Man's, but I would say Black Panther. Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh my god, it's Spider-Man, but it's not like holy shit. Because with Black Panther, you got this is the first time you're gonna see Black Panther in a movie, This is the first, like, I feel like if the other Spider-Man movies didn't exist or people just weren't as familiar with Spider-Man,
Well,
like even if he,
here's the thing with that though. This isn't just another Spider-Man adaptation either. Like, up to this point, we've gotten a few, but this one is so vastly different. Peter Parker is younger than he has ever been before, and suddenly he gets approached by Tony Stark. Like, you don't see Tony Stark in any of these other Spider-Man adaptations, and the way that they interact is fascinating. And the fact, seeing that Aunt May, let's just call a spade, she's a goddamn bombshell in this. I said it.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, these characters. These characters are vastly different than anything that we've ever known from the Spider-Man universe before, and seeing that unfold, and yet still being a Spider-Man that we know, but he's like still a little more awkward than we're used to, and a little more still getting used to things. This is like in his very early days, and yet we don't get a fucking Uncle Ben dying scene again.
That's awesome.
It's implied, but doesn't have to be sold.
Exactly. And there's a lot of that. Like, because that's just it. We know Spider-Man. You're absolutely right, Zenadean. We absolutely know Spider-Man. So they didn't feel the need to baby us on it further than we already have been. And they make room instead for a different introduction, not even in his own movie, to generate hype for it.
Yeah.
And that's where the gloriousness of that introduction comes from, at least to me anyways.
Well, what's also smart was how they also brought in Ant-Man simply from his battle with Falcon in his own movie.
Yeah, just from that one scene, it was a total throwaway scene. Like, the Avengers was essentially a cameo in Ant-Man, and they used that cameo to actually bring Ant-Man into the fold. It was beautiful. And again, Ant-Man was just like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do it.
And the conflict of the heroes causing a lot of damage is probably a real issue to think about with what the heroes did in that situation.
Well, exactly. And that's what I liked about The Incredibles, actually, on another topic.
We saved the city, Patrick.
Yeah.
Well,
yep.
Well, here's the thing. Scarlet Witch had no option, but what she did cause a lot of damage. Like, honestly, in her headspace, I don't think she did anything wrong.
Well, the heroes don't do most wrong things when they destroy a bunch of buildings. They are, like, it is a necessary damage.
See, it's interesting.
Well, what happened was Crossbones was nuking himself, and to save Cap and the people at the front, she throws him in the air, and throwing him in the air blew up a building.
Yeah, it had to be. But that's the thing. Both of these points of view on where heroes stand is a whole debate in and of itself that probably spans many an internet forum in several different ways. And the way that it goes, it can very much be related to just about anything you can think of.
And they did not take the easy Iron Man is wrong approach to this.
Exactly. There's nuance in both of these.
Yes, because yes, we are following Captain America, but Iron Man has all rights to think the way he thinks.
Yes, you can see the nuance, and there's rightness and wrongness in both of these points of views, and you really have to decide for yourself which one is actually the right path, and it probably won't be the right path for everybody.
And we're introduced to Baron Zemo, who is a great villain because he actually got his goals completed.
I actually really liked this villain, because the way he was portrayed here was just the most average of Joes who was ended up being wronged by because of the destruction of his hometown. And so
And
as a
here's the thing.
result...
Hey, he's still alive, so he still can have an impact later on. Like, we do know he's going to appear in Falcon Winter Soldier.
So there you go.
But I think he might even appear when they... Because I have a feeling they might even do the Thunderbolts eventually.
Ooh.
The what?
The Thunderbolts is essentially the Suicide Squad, except Marvel.
Ah. Yeah, Marvel and DC do copy
I
a lot off
really
each
liked this villain because it was a lot more so than... because it was something different. This wasn't just kind of a plot twist out of nowhere. Like, that, oh, that's a bait and switch. This person you think is the villain. No, this was, up to this point, it was just a clash of ideals.
And speaking of a class of ideals, I think this is the time we bring up the airplane fight, the airport fight.
Oh,
Yes.
that's probably it's probably the best fight scene in
Everyone's
Marvel.
here.
Like, as an individual fight.
Oh yeah.
Yup. I mean,
And not even the best fight in the movie.
The word.
yeah. But still, like, it had that Smash Brothers moment, you know?
Well, everybody had a moment to sign, like when Ant-Man became Giant Man.
Yes. It's
Spider-Man
like, I've never
was just
tested this
pretty-
before.
Hey, and Simon went holy shit, and we all went holy shit with him.
Uh-huh. Which, it was so cool. Like, and those two were probably the people that were like, they were just kind of pulled into this conflict. They're like, well, hells yeah, let's go.
Hawkeye coming in to help Wanda because he feels indebted to her brother. Like, everything capitalized here.
And War Machine losing his legs in this conflict.
Oh god. Because Vision made a human heir.
Yeah. Oh.
Black Widow letting Captain America going because he knows Captain America has good reason for what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Shit. It was
And then we get to the final fight, which is one of my favorite fights ever because
such
how
an
mostly
emotional
charged.
fight. Yeah.
With Captain America and Winter Soldier versus Iron Man.
God damn. And you'd think this would be a beatdown, but Tony Stark is no
From who's
slouch. And it's such an emotional fight. You don't want these two to fight, but you see it happen.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
Zenadean.
hello.
Sorry. Civil War brings out a lot on us.
Yes.
You can talk.
I think now he cut out for reals.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's kind of the reverse. He kind of said hello as if we thought he was cutting out, and then he did cut out. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oof. Yep, there he goes.
Let's see.
Against the wall.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I deeply apologize yet again.
This is what editing is for.
Indeed.
Oh,
Just went to get another drink again. Zenadean's
I ran
gotten...
out of deodorant.
Yeah. He just ordered another deodorant
So,
there. I'm still
I'll
guzzling down my
continue
milk.
what I was saying about the final confrontation. When you can't even be angry at Iron Man for wanting to kill Winter Soldier. With a line like, he killed my mom, you instantly can't hate Iron Man. Because it's one of the most human fights amongst superhumans.
Like forgiving somebody that killed a someone that you hold close is already like
Someone who
so
brought
hard.
you into this world.
Yeah, it's how can you even begin to forgive somebody like that? And that's
And it
the
doesn't
struggle
matter
that we
if-
see in Tony.
And it doesn't matter if Winter Soldier did not want to. He did it.
Yeah. He did it, and that was that. Sure, he had no control of himself, but yeah. And it's very murky. And
So, Sam, what do you think of this movie? Because me and Sam went on a lot.
Oh God. I don't know. It is a super. I feel like every time it's just like I say my stuff at the end because I lag out.
Hey, for the
then
next
talk
one,
fast,
we'll,
damn it!
for the next one, we'll let you go first, whatever the next one is.
Oh God. All right. So Civil War. It's a pretty like I like the movie a lot. Like I said, I don't consider it a like even though Captain America is one of the main characters, I do consider this like I just thought this was just Marvel Civil War. Like in my head, that's what it is.
It is.
Like
If you look at it, the Captain America is barely visible within this thumbnail itself, actually, if you look. So, I mean, it makes sense. Civil War is
kind of looks
definitely
like
the
Marvel
focus.
Studios Civil War.
Yeah.
Like especially with the way it's colored. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, but I feel like the clash of ideologies is not only like I feel like this movie is extremely necessary. One, because you always get those people who really want to see the heroes fight other heroes just for comparison's sake, and a lot
Power
of either shows, movies,
scaling!
and a lot of shows, movies, or whatever would try and force that in a ham-fisted way.
Oh,
And I feel like
yes.
this was. I know this was already a comic, so I assume they kind of based it somewhat
Comic
off
was
that.
awful.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Oh, that's so sad.
The movie is much better than the comic.
And like, they did it in such a finessed and believable way that I feel like it. Oh, I was gonna say it would have been hard to fuck up, but if they didn't do good, it would have fucked up. Like, this is a very like high risk, high reward type movie.
Well,
and
here's
I
the thing,
feel
if
like-
this movie
Yup.
fucked up, I think the MCU would just crumble right down, wouldn't it?
Pretty much. This was
Because
a
this movie
gigantic
is
moment.
one of the most important ones to set things up for the next few movies.
Yeah, this was so
Yeah.
extremely rooted within the MCU. Like, this would make or break the franchise.
This has to be S tier.
It has to be.
Absolutely.
I would even put it I'm saying it. I would even put it above Avengers.
Me too.
Are you planning on? Oh, you just higher in S tier? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, are you
Creating
moving
another
Avengers
tier
down?
just for it.
I don't like tier lists that go triple S. Five
Nah, it won't be
S's.
triple S. It'll just be Civil War with an S instead of a C.
Alright, next is Doctor Strange.
Let's get.
Next is, and we'll start with you, Stan, because, hey, you should open some. Doctor Strange.
Thor. Oh fuck no, Doctor Strange. Are you sure you want me to start because I need a refresher on Doctor Strange?
Okay.
Stan, do you want me or you?
I guess I'll start. Why not? So Doctor Strange, at first glance, Doctor Strange was very Tony Starkish pre Iron Man in a sense. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
mad Tony Stark vibes from this. I'm just like, oh, are we doing this again? All right, cool. But seeing what happens and seeing this dude like get into an accident and still try to do shit, I'm like, oh, mate, I've been there.
Yeah, I think anyone who's had an injury who relates to the worry and fear of not going to go back to what you can do.
It's a terrifying feeling, not being able to do the things that you love anymore. It's honestly huge, and So that's really related. That really resonated with me on that front.
Well, I also think he has a good journey from being a prick to being a person who actually wants to save the world.
Well, sure, and he starts out like just wanting. He
Money.
goes on this great quest, essentially for selfish reasons, but in this quest for selfish reasons, he finds a greater purpose.
It's a great journey of self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the best ones, honestly. But another
One of
great,
the few ones.
but also the special effects, man, the trippiness.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Even
on that note, it also, as I said earlier, this also is our big introduction to magic. And
Yep.
like alternate worlds, as it were, more so than what was brought about in the Thor universe.
Yeah.
So
I mean, well, the one thing is like, I understand it plays a huge part, but aside from the other movies that Doctor Strange is in, I'm not sure what other movies like this entire magic thing is going to play a part of in the MCU for the foreseeable future.
Probably Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, because that's going to introduce the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian? Is that what you said, mate?
Yes, the Mandalorian is supposed to be in that movie.
Dude,
We
stop!
talked about this earlier.
Dude, stop! The Mandalorian is Star Wars!
Oh, wait, what? Oh, the Mandarin! I have never seen the Mandalorian, honestly. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Isn't that the thing? That's the thing with Baby Yoda or whatever.
Yes, it is.
I have not seen it, and I don't really know anything about it.
Apparently it's good, but I've never seen it myself either.
I've seen it. It's pretty good.
But anyways, magic is opening up to the MCU, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck.
Jesus, are you okay?
And
I think you've had a bit too much milk to drink.
Bring up the final
I need to
confrontation.
drive later.
The final confrontation in this movie with him and Dormammu. It's a very interesting, different way to defeat a final villain by just annoying him.
Yeah, literally annoying him into submission. Like, how the fuck?
But it also shows the progression of his character in a way.
Yeah, actually.
Because he went from this very selfish, material type of person to a person willing to die 1,000,000 times or more to stop this.
By the power of an Infinity Stone, no less. Which, by this point, we've heard such a lot about now. We haven't really mentioned the Infinity Stones up to this point, but we've been introduced to the concept of it back in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really, back in, I would like to say, with the Tesseract at the Avengers.
Yes, but at that point we just saw it as the Tesseract rather than an Infinity Stone. We didn't really know much about it up until that point. So, essentially, the real first time we were introduced to it was Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it was expanded upon during Age of Ultron when Thor gets his vision. And seeing that we have an Infinity Stone, another Infinity Stone introduced, that's pretty much all of them that we've been introduced to at this point. So we're like, oh shit, the pieces are all in place. Because we know what's coming now. At this point, everybody and their grandmother's dog can guess.
Woof.
See, there yes.
But yeah, I don't think we need to go too much into it because it was a very solid movie. Like, probably not the most memorable, but good.
Yeah.
So where would we put
I mean,
it?
I need
I
to
would
go,
also-
guys. Just a sec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. At least you're able to give warnings.
Then where would you put it? Oh, what were you
I
going to say?
well, in terms of placement, I'd put it in maybe top of B. But like the thing is, it's like even like the story itself, it's okay. Like following the Doctor himself, seeing his character development is really good. The story itself is right because the main story is his character development, at least for like the first half of the movie. But one thing that I love about the movie the most is like this movie has the best visual effects minus the big
Without a
one.
doubt.
Yeah. Like even just simple things like his little hand rings, they look beautiful and like really detailed.
Dude,
Like
I
you can
see
tell
some sick cosplay with people using some hologram things for hand rings as well.
it's so cool. And like it's like yeah, visually it's insane. And it's just one of those things where it's like it's the perfect like toss. It's like the best pitch you can no, because with the best pitches they don't hit it. But like it's the perfect pitch for a batter, just the batter being in like endgame. I feel like this sets up endgame the best.
Okay.
I feel
Probably
like this is
because of the whole time stone and pretty much getting the last couple stones together.
yeah, and you're finally collecting all the pieces from all of these movies so far.
And now we have to wait for Sad.
Where would you put it, Jag?
I put it top of B because
Yeah,
I don't know if I put it A. I might put it A, but top of B definitely.
I also said top of B. But yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hello, Xadmeister.
So we all
Mr.
put.
Meister.
So we just finished talking about where we put it. We both say top of B. Where would you put it?
Yeah, I'd say top of B. I'd say that's a
And
Yeah.
fair
next
bet.
is another one of my personal favorites, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Indeed.
I love the soundtrack of this one as well. Just right off the bat.
Yes. But
Like it's one
hey, here's the thing between Guardians 1 and this. Guardians 1 introduced the characters. But now that we have introduced these characters, can they move forward from that? The answer is fucking yes.
Did they ever? What was great
it's
about
not
it?
just a yes, it's a fuck yes.
Hells yeah.
very strong say like wait, yo, chest, you said that.
Like, if it wasn't for Civil War, this might be my number one.
Really?
Because this movie,
Hmm?
one thing I loved about this movie, guys, is its theming.
Mm-hmm.
The theme of family is present through every sub story and every buddy main story as well.
It was fascinating getting a look at
Every
all of these
character
different.
went through a development relating family.
Hells yeah. Sorry.
Peter Quill and
I'm gonna disappear
Eagle.
again quickly.
Oh damn it!
Oh, okay.
All right, but I'll talk about the theme. Peter
Yeah.
Quill and his evil dad, Gamora and Nebula. Rocket Raccoon and Yondu.
Yeah, you were gonna say when we hit this movie you were gonna talk more about why you really enjoy Yondu.
Oh god, yeah. Yondu. Hey, for the first movie, we saw kind of that hidden depth that he's not really a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, we kind of see how far he has actually hidden that he's really Peter's dad. like not biologically, but emotionally.
Yeah, that
And you
figure.
really see how much he cares about his son throughout the movie. Like, he goes out of his way, and he's at his slow, but as soon as he found out what happened to Peter, he goes on a mission to save him. Because
Yeah.
at the point that he was told what happened, he lost everything, and he pretty much gave up on life. But then, as soon as he realized Peter was in danger, he realized he still had something worth living for.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Honestly, I'm not too familiar with the actual movie myself. I know a few things about it.
Did you
I
not
probably
see it?
No, I didn't. I won't lie. I remember seeing a few clips of it, and then I looked up some reviews. I haven't actually seen the movie because my Netflix
Well,
got
well,
canceled.
one of the most powerful scenes for me in the movie. Like, do you see the scene where Yondu was yelling at Rocket?
Yeah, I've seen that for
See,
sure. I've seen the
see,
highlights basically.
uh,
Such a
it's such
powerful
a
moment.
yes. It's moments like that that really moves the movie, and it brings over that overall theming of family, which may sound cheesy, but it is a theme that went really well into the movie.
Mm.
Like, nothing hits me harder than like than the concept of family. And as a result, as like, that's hella important. So seeing all of this, seeing all of these different family dynamics coming together, and
Like Nebula and Gamora dealing with kind of an abusive family.
Mm.
Having them,
Like Thanos is you could put Thanos as an abusive father who favors a golden child, and Nebula is stuck trying to impress him.
yeah, exactly. And then on the other side, we see Quill having no memory of his father whatsoever, and
Biological father.
his father wasn't even there to for him, and
But who
discovering
was?
that he was actually a god.
But when he finds out how shitty his father is, and he comes to the realization that all along he did have a father. It was Yondu the whole time.
Exactly. Or it doesn't have to be just, or it's not necessarily bound by blood.
And here's the thing, it may be a emotional movie, but it also has some of the funniest moments. I'm Mary Poppins, yo!
Exactly. Fuck yeah.
Like, oh, I was so happy to see Yondu join the Guardians, and then
Mm-hmm.
breaks. For the movie, it makes sense killing off Yondu, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was still a
Oh,
powerful moment.
Sacrifices are necessary.
Yeah.
Which also bring up Bloody Mantis and her adorableness.
Oh yeah. I love Mantis.
Oh, he's happy and excited.
Yeah. Oh, it was so. Oh, it was so nice. And yet,
And I
Drax
can't
just
think
having.
of any flaws.
Well, you know, it was kind of funny when the people of the Sovereign tried to keep getting involved.
Oh yeah,
They were kind of
I
like,
didn't find it annoying. I found it kind of hilarious, honestly.
well, yeah, like it was. They were trying to like. You would think at first glance that like the Sovereign would be these villains because they kind of betrayed them, and so
Because
you'd think that they would
Rocket's
be
an asshole.
yeah, but instead what we get is they're trying to be a villain, but they're side characters at best. They're more annoying than anything to the main cast.
And we were also introduced to the best named villain ever, Taserface.
Taserface. That's right. Oh gosh.
This movie was emotional. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It had me excited. It's S tier.
I'm not gonna argue.
You know what? Why argue that? Where are we putting it?
Above Avengers, in my opinion. But what do you guys say?
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, honestly, 100%. I'd probably go with that.
But yeah, we don't need to discuss greatness that often.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Let's bring up Spider-Man Homecoming.
Hells yeah.
I have talked a lot, so I'm going to let you guys go.
All right, Zad. Do you want to go first or will I?
You haven't gone first in a bit there, so go for it.
In a bit. I think I did it like twice. Spider-Man Homecoming is it's a good movie. It's a strong start with, and it's so much more downplayed, and it's so different from most of the other like action heavy movies. Like I appreciate both Spider-Man movies a lot because I won't say they're rom-coms, but they're written so differently that I can appreciate it in a different way, where I can enjoy the characters and I don't have to feel like comedy is comedy relief. It's just kind of there from like the different points, because like you get some comedic characters, right? And it's just those characters. It's not everyone. I feel like everyone in this movie can be somewhat like everyone's enjoyable in their own way, but in the same way as the actual movie itself.
The villain.
Yes, and like everyone has this everyone has like such a nice charm, I guess, to them. Like the entire movie is.
Especially the villain.
Yeah, I feel like the movie itself would be more charming than anything else.
It is a very charming movie.
And you know, it's as I said before, it's vastly different from any Spider-Man movie we've seen up to this point. Because I remember watching this with Jag, and Jag being like, okay, this character is this character, all right, and this character is completely different. And then seeing all of, like, while Jag's explaining it, and then afterwards, seeing, like, all of his explanations add up to moot. And he's like, wait a minute, what? What? The Vulture is her father? What?
Yep. Great fortress, and it works.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a bait and switch either.
No, it's like...
But here's the thing. On a second rewatch, it's right in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that movie Get Out, or you get a completely different experience the second time you watch it. I don't know if you two have seen that movie, though.
I
know
haven't,
of it.
actually.
You should check it out. It's a really good movie, but I can't really say anything about it.
I know of it. It's just I generally don't watch horror movies. But from it's described as more of a thriller.
I'd say it's more of a horror than a thriller. Like thriller would be Us. Like this is more of like a psychological movie. This is off topic anyways, but you would enjoy it.
Let's go
it's not
back
that
to
scary.
Spider-Man.
But yeah,
Michael Keaton did a great Vulture.
Absolutely he did. God damn.
This movie was almost perfectly casted.
Oh, the casting, you can't get much better, honestly. The one downside, I hate making Fast Austin into a jock asshole to an academic asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually very interesting because you get a whole different take on it. And that's kind of this movie's whole theme in a nutshell, is trying a different take on something.
It's not Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man.
And the final battle, guys.
Oh man. I love how everything that was lost on that freight thing was like stuff that we didn't that we actually didn't see again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like listing off all the stuff that was on it. Of course, the Hulkbuster armor was still in that plane too, so I guess something was salvaged from it.
Oh yeah.
But I found that was a cute little nod.
But hey, the cast was good, but I do think both are so for just being relatable and being a villain who's not even that evil.
Yeah.
Pretty
Would
much.
you even call him a? No, it's so.
It wasn't really. He did what he did because he was screwed out of something.
Yeah.
And he was screwed over just by something that happened to be an affiliation with the Avengers. It was very much, and he held that bitterness, particularly towards Tony Stark in that sense.
Like, he can understand why he does it, but still, he is morally wrong, so you would call him a villain.
Yes. And here's the thing, he likes Peter Parker. He likes Spider-Man. He gave him an easy out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when he connected dots on... One of my favorite scenes is when the light turns green, when he connects the dots on Peter Parker being Spider-Man.
Yeah. A fascinating meeting, and it was so tense, and it was...
it's so good.
Yeah, and without even really... And, like, they can't really say anything, because the one person that ties them together has no idea who either of them are.
So, where would you put this movie, guys?
Solid A.
Solid A? I would say high B.
What do you think,
Don't
Jack?
get me wrong.
Jag?
I'm thinking.
Alright.
Because, like, where I'm thinking of is, it's a great movie, but the sequel is just, in my opinion, better in every aspect.
Really? See, I actually
think
liked the original more than the sequel in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why. It's just like personal preference, I suppose. Because I see gripes with both, and I see where some would outplay each other.
I think I'll say A. Right underneath Spider-Man.
Okay. I'm not going to argue against it.
All right, let's do that.
I just want to remind you, though, that you all put Spider-Man above Thor and Hulk.
Yeah.
How could you? You would kick their ass in a fight.
Oh gosh, Goku would slap all of these guys. What?
I just realized you changed the name of the bottom as the other two.
I did that a while ago. Yeah, just for the hell of it.
Is
You know
Black
wrong.
Panther the next movie?
The next movie is Ragnarok.
Ah. So yeah, speaking of Thor.
Yeah,
now we've
speaking
got
of.
Thor in his final evolution. He's finally gone golden.
Haha. Yeah.
And he's finally allowed to be
I'm
funny.
just going to get my rant out of the way because my rant is
Go
very
ahead.
superfluous. And
I'm gonna
really-
add epic music to the back of this, so I hope you enjoy.
Oh,
God.
hells yeah. Do it.
But so for those who don't know, I love Norse mythology. So I was quite interested to see how they're going to introduce Hela, because she is Loki's daughter, even in the comic books. And especially in mythology, she's one of Loki's 3 main children. He has a lot more children, but one is Fenrir the Wolf, one is that ridiculously long name of Snake, the Wolf Serpent.
Midgard
and the other
Sormer. Yes, I know my shit.
And the last one is Buddy, Hela. And what did they do? Oh, it's just Odin's extra daughter, because why not? Fuck off of that shit, because no, that's not how it works.
I don't allow it.
And here's the thing, you can still have a pretty damn good story with Loki having a bloody kid as the villain, especially since we're transitioning Loki into a bloody hero at this point.
And that was the interesting bit of this movie, was seeing Loki and Thor try to reconcile their differences because of Odin dying. And they try their hardest, despite the fact that they still kind of want to hate each other.
Just by nature.
Yeah, because of all the shit that they've done to one another. But ultimately, they're like, they end up kind of reconciling.
Plus, it's also important to mention that this movie is also Planet Hulk, apparently.
Oh yes.
What?
With
Oh yeah, Planet Hulk is the storyline where Hulk gets a gladiator outfit.
Oh.
Oh, and of course, with the number one fan being Jeff Goldblum, like, where can you go wrong?
Oh God.
Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster did a frickin' fantastic job. And I mean, Jeff Goldblum is known for being a pretty hammy character as is, but they used him to the fullest.
We'll call this a tie.
Yeah. Attention, everyone. They have stolen my champion. Gotta get it back. You can't have a revolution without someone to overthrow, right? I still think that's a pretty good job.
I don't know how much that was on the script or that was improv.
You gotta wonder, eh?
Because
I
it
bet
feels
most
very
of it was
improv
improv.
with how he was acting.
Well, yeah, but that's
This movie was a lot more improv in general.
there was a
in a
lot of
good
Jeff
way.
Goldblumisms thrown in there, so you gotta wonder if that was intentional or if
No,
they just said go ham.
Jeff Goldblum has been known to improv a lot in movies.
Especially in this one, because the entire cast here is like really good at just being funny.
And we were introduced to Valkyrie. We were introduced.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, her just walking out drunk was pretty fun.
Yeah. Coming out completely ass drunk, she's like comes out and she fucking falls off of her deck. Oh, okay.
Like, it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But
For sure.
I think the weak part of this movie is, for me, I enjoy that half. The Asgard half, probably because of the last two movies, I could have cared less about.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where you can make the same food over and over. You can get really good at making that food, but if you just eat that food, it's gonna taste bland.
But like, there was good things in Asgard, like the bloody minion guy running in with the machine guns was great.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
absolutely.
But most of Asgard is killing off all those other characters that we really didn't connect to begin with.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
doing some cleanup, getting rid of the clutter of gods.
And that's what it felt like for that half of the movie. And Helen did not really interest me as a villain that much.
Her design was cool.
Ultimately, she kind of took a back seat to everything. Yeah, she was in control of Asgard, but we didn't really get to see a lot of that because Thor was in this junk world for most
I
of
liked
it.
his design until they did the spiky helmet.
Oh yeah, you thought that was...
It's how it looks in the comics, but it looks goofy to me.
This is where Jag and I disagree because I actually really like Hela for even afterwards because she just chews all of the scenery. Oh, She devours that scenery. Oh,
to be fair, I haven't rewatched this movie because I couldn't rewatch every movie in the time I
Yeah,
had.
that's
yeah.
fair.
She was so
So
over the
maybe
top.
I
I
might
fucking
change my mind
loved
on
it.
that. So you might have a point there. Like,
Yeah.
I do know my feelings of bitterness happened.
Oh yes. Well,
We can't let our emotions get in the way of the most important tier list of this week.
yeah.
Composers.
So where are we putting this
Where
one?
would we?
Bottom of A.
Or maybe B.
Yeah.
Zed, A or B? What are you thinking?
Better or
I'm
worse
thinking-
than Ultron?
I'm thinking like top of B.
Top of B?
Yeah.
Tippity top.
Okay.
Doctor Strange doesn't want
Also,
to
I
let
really
you.
like the Doctor Strange cameo in this one particularly.
Oh yeah, that was
It's
a
like-
good cameo.
Like he sees Loki enter, like instantly sends him into a dimension where he just falls forever, and
He
it's
just
like,
yeeted him.
yeah, pretty much. And just to have a chat with Thor, like, hey, we're here with your brother. What's the meaning of this, there, bruh?
And it's nice to see Doctor Strange pretty much fully embrace Sorcerer Supreme dad mode.
Oh yeah, you know,
Hmm.
I kind of see I kind of see Doctor Strange's role as more or less like Kami from Dragon Ball Z in a way. He's
Yeah,
kind of
or
like
King
this.
Kai.
Yeah, he's kind of like this world's guardian.
Oh, let's move back to Spider-Man: Homecoming and credit sequence.
Oh, right. What
Oh,
the fuck?
The one that we all watched, and it just trolled us for being the fans that we are.
We had like the thing about Spider-Man and all of his other adaptations was the fact that he was kept a secret for the most part, especially to Aunt May. And at the very end, you think he'd get away with it, and then the post-credits scene happens, and he's like, "Wait, what?"
And then after that, you wait after the credits, and then Captain America goes, "Sometimes you wait for something."
And they fucking
then
trolled us so fucking hard on that. Yep. God damn it.
Like,
And for all of it to mean absolutely nothing. Like, God damn it. Oh.
Alright. But time for a big one. And probably one that a lot of people have been watching lately.
Black
Yeah,
Panther.
Black Panther.
Yep.
All right. I am gonna take the helms here. This is only a two-person movie, in my opinion. This is just about T'Challa and Killmonger. I feel like almost all of the other characters are near nothing. Like not near nothing, but near not unwatchable. But it's like it's
They
so
don't
convoluted
matter.
and confusing. Yeah, they don't matter, and like it's like so much stuff is being thrown onto this. Admittedly, it's a simple plot when you break it down and take away all the fluff. But there's so much fluff because you have to explain everything about Wakanda, and I understand that, and that's important. But like
Oh
like
man,
I
we're
feel like
disagreeing heavy right now.
Yeah.
that's fair. That's finally we got
I'm
a
kind of in
disagreement. 'cause
Zenadean's camp on this one, too, for a little bit. Like, when it comes to the background characters and whatnot, because...
it's just too much. Sadly, we're not. I feel like if it was at least somewhat, if you knew a bit more about it beforehand, or it probably would have been a lot easier if you already read the comics and know what you were going into. But at least me, from the perspective of, I had no idea who Black Panther was before this, and being hit with all of this in the space of 2 hours and trying to keep up with everything, while it also still feeling kind of slow. But saying that, it is also really good when it is good.
Hell
And
yeah.
it is really good with T'Challa and Killmonger. Their dynamic, their own characters. even like down to their designs, their motivations, everything about it, even the custom of being a king, the both of their fights, and then even the scene in the car chase. I love that. Like there was loads of things to love about this movie, but I feel like they could have maybe cut 15, 20, maybe even a half an hour out of it.
Yeah,
Scraped here and there.
I disagree because I was fascinated to see Wakanda on the screen, and so was the culture of Wakanda. See the different tribes play out, seeing Black Panther's bodyguards, seeing how the tribe dynamics kind of separate but also unite. Seeing Manape actually being a somewhat likable character for once was cool.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I understand that.
Like, yeah, and a lot of the scenes uh, have have really been, and yes, when you say two people stole the soul, huh, it's the people who should steal the soul. The
Oh,
main hero, the
absolutely.
main villain. If you want somebody to steal soul, have those two people steal the soul. But it's also cool to see, uh, even, uh, even him working with his sister to make a better suit and all that stuff. Like in the first movie, he had more of the traditional Black Panther suit, and his sister made it a stronger suit.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. And like, I loved the visuals in this.
Yes.
As another, Wakanda, what they show behind the curtain is beautiful. It's a very cool mix of like ancient tradition versus technology, and it blends very well.
I think the setting is really cool.
And just Wakanda's just overall area was just cool to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also want to say that the soundtrack is probably my favorite out of all of these movies.
It's a good soundtrack.
It is such a great soundtrack. Kendrick Lamar did a really good job on that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And
yeah,
Killmonger could be argued to be one of MCU's greatest villains because he's one of the most real villains, having his own
absolutely.
experiences that shaped him to go down the path he went down.
See, that's one thing that Marvel really struggles with is their villains, and I feel like Killmonger is top 3 villains in at least the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I might argue he might be the best one. Because unlike Thanos, he did not need a lot of build-up. He had this one movie to pretty much make his claim.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of what you look for because
I'd still probably go like top 3. Maybe not the best, but like top 3 for sure.
Definitely top 3, but I'm making a claim for that. Okay.
That's fair. I'd probably put Loki above him though. Personally.
But Loki's was a villain, but he's less so a villain.
Oh, I know he's less so of a villain now, but even if you just count him as a villain, I still think he played that role.
Well, I've got some thoughts when we get to Endgame, but I'll get to that. Anyways,
anything else that we have to say about this movie?
Well,
Eugene Claw
said his piece.
By the way,
Eugene Claw, yeah.
That we didn't really touch on him because he was.
Hey, here's the thing. Hey, he was very fun ham.
He was very fun. He was the definition of evil ham. It was. Before the reveal, anyways, we thought that Eugene Claw was going to be like our main villain. We saw him a little bit in Age of Ultron, but not really that much. So knowing what we knew at that point about like him taking vibranium and stuff, we're like, oh shit, like this guy has got to be like our villain, only for him to get murdered
pretty early.
Halfway in.
Yeah. Which was a real shame because I really liked that dude.
Yeah, hey, he's like, I'm not in this for long, but I'm going to eat as much scenery as I can.
Hells yeah, he did. Just busting out into what is love when he was supposed to be interrogated. I'm like, oh shit, hells yeah, this dude. Oh, he had so much fun with that.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I never really consider like the first half of the movie that much when I think about Black Panther. To be honest.
Yeah.
well, I had to rewatch it recently because
Mm.
yeah, so it is fresh on my mind.
I feel like this movie would have done so much, like to me personally, would have gotten way more if they split this movie into two parts. Like not even
I don't
film a
know.
second.
I think it satisfied me personally.
I think it is satisfying, but I think it's too much for a single watch.
Oh, I meant. Oh, Ulysses
Then again-
Claw, not Eugene Claw. Whatever.
But
Hey, you
I am
know
but a
what you're trying
child.
to say.
Yes.
in your land, I'm an underage drinker, so.
Actually
in the
not-
border, 18 is the legal age.
Yeah. So you're good. You're good. You can gulp down that deodorant all you want.
Oh, sweet.
I might.
So, guys, it seems like we're
I
not
still
all on the
think
same
it's-
page. Where are we putting this?
I would say top of B, maybe A.
And I would
I still
say
think it's a really good movie.
I would say top of A.
Honestly, I would probably put it top of B as well.
So, will that equal out to bottom of A?
It, I, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I still don't think it's better than Spider-Man. But yeah, we'll put it bottom of A.